To be fair, I was gonna listen to an episode, and then school has been kicking my ass.
It's all good, man.
I am burnt out completely.
Wait, what are you studying?
I'm being an ophthalmologist technician.
Why that?
So I was going to school for a business degree because I wanted to work from home.
Okay.
But so it's a combination of companies were forcing people to go back to work, and I actually fucking hated it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like even my dad was like, "Hey, you don't seem happy."
So you're just gonna finish it out?
No. So what happened was that was for business, and then so I was like, okay, well I gotta do something else, and then my school, that was the new program, ophthalmologist technician. So I was like, that seems fun, and then so now I'm just doing it.
Just to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it pays good money. It's a good job. The hours are steady. If there's another COVID or something like that, I will be considered
mandatory
worker, which kind of sucks. Which is cool and sucks at the same time, right? Because one, I don't get to enjoy days off, but on the other hand, I will be paid. And then it's one of those jobs where you don't take it home with you.
Yeah.
That's it. As soon as I'm clocked off.
So your whole thing is it makes some money, is steady, you don't have to bring it home with you, and then when you're successful in comedy, you could just drop it.
Yes, because of COVID, it has COVID has exposed the flaws of capitalism. So my plan of just being like, I could just work a shitty job and still do comedy, that is kind of more far-fetched. I guess it was always far-fetched, but it was at least possible before COVID.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing like my other comedian friends, and they're having a stressful time.
What do you, and how so?
Well, they don't have good jobs, so now it's like they're struggling to survive and all that stuff.
How old were you when COVID happened?
23.
That's crazy.
And I was and my comedy career was like going on an uphill, and like I was about to do a bunch of cool stuff, and then COVID happened, and it kind of reset me.
I'm sorry.
2-0.
Oh, I almost dropped it. That would have been upsetting.
I mean, I'll still ask you to eat it.
Yeah.
Because I spent $4.
I
spent $4, so you either go pay me back the money.
It looks delicious.
Cookie.
I'm eating it during this podcast.
Yeah.
But so okay, so you think COVID exposed the flaws in capitalism?
No, yes. I mean, yes. It exposed the flaws, and also it just made the cracks even bigger. Where now everything's more expensive because companies and landlords are like, we could jack up the prices for whatever, and people are gonna still have to pay the prices.
Right. Where do you think the line's gonna be? When do you think it's gonna tip over and we're gonna start a revolution and cut people's heads off and shit?
I'll be honest. I don't know if America has the
balls.
Not the balls, just the. Because we do live good.
Sure.
Compared to other places, like if we're gonna speak some theory, we are the. Damn, what's the word? We are the. What's the word, bro?
We are the makers and seers.
The empire.
The Roman Empire?
No. I know we're men, but not white men. We don't have to talk about the Roman Empire. No, we're the there you go. We're the imperial core.
What does that mean?
Well, as you know, imperialism is the people that take all the other lands and stuff for conquest and all that stuff. So we're the imperial core. Basically, America, we take other people's resources so we can live good. So as that, I don't think we have what it takes to really take over, because we still live comfortably enough. Even if everything is fucked up, there's enough of us that still live comfortably. So
blood's on all of our hands. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But it's not like our fault. But I think more slowly more people, right? Because with the Israel and Palestine thing. And thank you. I hate when people will say like Hamas and Israel when this is preceded Hamas. But I think with that, people are like slowly realizing like, it is kind of messed up that we only have two choices, right? Between presidents. And I think people have slowly realized that back with Hillary and Trump. Yeah. But I think with more and more, we're like, okay, now people want a choice. But we'll see, like I said.
I mean, there's so much. The first thing is when I first started watching your comedy, I was
such a hard shift.
Yeah, no, it'll connect. It'll connect.
This podcast is taking 3 shifts. Hey, Luz, do you like yourself? Anyway, what do you do for school? So like, what's the name of the podcast? So anyway, when I saw your comedy,
the podcast. Okay, all right. You're gonna derail the shit out of me. All right, here's the context for the podcast and why it's a little scatterbrained, and then
so what part do you want?
The whole point of the podcast was just an excuse to get to know people because I was lonely.
Yeah.
And it was like I'm just me, and I'm sure I don't know if you notice it, but when I'm out in comedy land, when we're at mics or shows or whatever, I'm in the corner and I fucking leave. Because I just don't. This is how I feel comfortable.
I'm not because I'm always in the corner with you.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, I come to you. I was like, hey, this dude doesn't fuck with anybody. Let me go fuck with him.
It's not that. It's not that. It's
no. You're focused. You're like, hey, I'm here. No, I was kind of the same way when I first started. I was like, hey, I'm taking the metro. Yeah. I'm having my mom's taking me to the metro because I can't drive yet in the winter, so I could do comedy. So let me come in here, work on my stuff, and then I have to go because obviously I have to catch the metro and I still have school in the morning.
Yeah, you get it. Minus the school and the mom stuff, you get it.
And the suburban?
And the suburban part of it. But so it's just, I mean, it's scatterbrained because I'm scatterbrained. But
you're 100% fine. It's good.
But when I saw your comedy, I was surprised at how much politics were in it. I was really surprised at that. And then not only that, but the amount of politics.
They're coming for us. See, we speak about the Imperial Core in Palestine, and now the podcast is gonna get shut down.
Dude, like every episode has sirens. The cops have like a speed trap over here or something. Be careful. But like,
hey, stop telling me our secrets, bro. Remember, you're black. We can fuck with you.
the mix of serious political beliefs.
Do you know that you're black? But to be fair, okay, can I interrupt you real quick? I feel like you've caught. I don't think there's as much politics now. I think there's more fucking in my comedy now.
It's changed a little bit?
Yeah, I think you caught me when I was like trying to be political, and now it's like more fucking.
What was going on then, and what changed?
I was trying to say something, and I was like really into politics, and it was just a bunch of interesting stuff was happening. And I guess a lot more interesting stuff happening now, but it's like kind of hard. It's like, how do you write a joke about Israel and Palestine when people are being bombed, you know? Like, the other day, I saw a video. There was, hopefully I don't cry when I retell this, but there was, like, a mom with, like, blood, where her children's blood was on her hands. And she was like, I'm not going to wash my hands, because how else am I going to sleep close to my children?
That was... You saw a video of that?
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
And there's other, like... tragic stories like that. So like, how do you, like, you know what I'm saying? You
seem pretty well read on it. This will be fun. I'm gonna say my ignorant knowledge that I have, and then you correct me.
That's always fun.
No, because I don't. When everything started happening, I was like, I don't know. I literally do not know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So here's what I've picked up. There's Israel, which is predominantly a Jewish space. Zionist. What is the difference?
So this is why it's different, because this is gonna record for whirlwind. So Zionism and Judaism is not the same.
Okay.
And it is anti-Semitic for the Zionists to make like this is a Jewish thing, because that is gonna bring the rise to anti-Semitism. Because when people see what Israel is doing, which is ethically cleansing people from their land, how can you not want to hate Jews? But there is a lot of Jews that are opposed to it, right?
Except for Amy Schumer.
Let's not even talk about. She's so fucking garbage. No, so Zionism is basically this colonization project of we're gonna bring this quote unquote homeland for the Jews, which England promised both Palestinians who helped them fight a war, and they also promised the Jews a land, so they give them Palestine. And then that's where the conflict, obviously, because a lot of it in the beginning, because this is one topic where people will use, they don't cover the stories. They'll be like, well, the Arabs at the time said no to this proposition of giving Jews land. But they don't tell you, though, that Jews were less of a population than Arabs, but they wanted to give Jewish more land. So obviously you're gonna say no. Like if it's like, let's say Illinois. Let's say 70% black people and then 30% white people. And then England was like, hey, we're going to give 60% of the land to the white people.
Right.
And y'all get the rest of it.
I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah, you're going to be like, no, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then a war happened and then all that other stuff.
And so in the same way that you're making a distinction between Jewish people and Zionists, there's a distinction between Palestinians and Hamas. Or is that different?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Even though, yes. But the thing is, obviously, Hamas, not only is it funded by Israel the same way how a lot of the enemies of America is funded by America.
Yeah.
They are also, they're kind of Palestinians. Obviously, as more and more the Zionists and the IDF, the Israel Department Force, kills more and more people, the Palestinians are aligning more with Hamas because at the end of the day, who else is going to protect them? Kind of how like Ukraine, some of the like Nazi soldiers, people are going to join them because they're being slaughtered by Russia. So at that point, you don't care about who you join forces with. You're like, I'm just trying to survive.
Right. It's complicated, it sounds like.
No, it's not complicated.
It's not complicated?
It's literally...
Can you simplify? Who do I support?
The Zionists are taking land.
Okay.
From Palestinians.
Okay.
And killing them.
Okay. And now I'm asking.
So
your fucking leg is shaking. I think
to be fair, my leg's always shaking.
Oh, okay. I was like, you gonna take the cookie back from me? Is this...
No.
Now I do, but and this is. I wouldn't even say this is devil's advocate. This is me asking because I'm trying to understand.
Please don't play devil's advocate. I hate that shit.
I'm not. I promise.
But generally ask your questions. Yeah, no, if you're curious.
What is when Hamas made the attack? That seems to be something that is upsetting for people.
Yes.
Because they civilians. That was the issue. Now the logic is if it wasn't for such a horrific statement, we're not even aware of what's going on. Is that the logic? Okay.
No, 100%, because this has been going on forever. This is not a new thing.
Right.
This predates 70, 80, maybe like 100, like 1940, so like 70, 80 years. Mm-hmm. So it's like one of those things of like, but nothing happens to a vacuum. A perfect one-on-one comparison is 9/11. 9/11 didn't happen in a bubble. What happened? America funded Al-Qaeda, and they also destabilized Afghanistan. So obviously you're going to get blowback. Right. So if Israel was an apartheid state, which is South Africa, it's the same thing, also comparison of South Africa. Mm-hmm. Of if Israel wasn't killing so many people, then they wouldn't have done that because they were like, we need to do something.
Okay, then another comparison I'll make is slave revolutions. Revolutions?
Yes.
Slave revolts.
Yes.
Where we have slave owners doing slave owner shit. Slaves are like, well, the only option is to murder you guys. Otherwise, you're not going to stop doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you're not gonna, and then imagine people were like, oh my god, why did the slaves do that? Why couldn't they just peacefully protest for their freedom?
Yeah, and that's where I have an issue with the idea of non-violence. I think you should start.
They've done it. No one has listened. No one has cared.
Right.
That's the thing, right? It's like that quote. I forgot who gave that quote. I think it might have been, I don't know if it was Malcolm X or it was the gay dude that went to France.
Malcolm X or the gay dude. Right.
Baldwin.
James Baldwin, yeah.
I forgot it was one of those who that was like, you can't do a peaceful protest and show humanity to people who don't even see you as human. God damn. So like, what are you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
So yes. So no, because like, here's the thing. And no, I'm not going to condemn Hamas, but I would say killing innocent people is never right. But
what's the difference between you not condemning Hamas and you saying
because
that?
it's like this trap. It's where people try to fall into a trap and blah, blah, blah. And then I have also extreme views, which I'm not going to share on the video. Okay. But I also do know it is wrong. But the point is, yes, killing innocent people is not right.
Right.
But like I said, when you push people into a corner, they're going to attack.
Right. Survival.
And if you want them to stop, then you need to stop. Right. Is the people. And also, like I said, it's like they don't, as much as people say that, like I said, like Israel is, they've killed the hostages that Hamas took. 60 of them have been dead so far from them in bombing indiscriminately. Sunday they suspended the prime minister because he was like, "What if we nuke Gaza?" So when them saying, they don't care about the you know what I'm saying?
You're so, I know I'm gonna sound like an old man here, but you're very young, and I'm surprised at how knowledgeable you are about these things and how much you care, because a lot of people your age, including myself, I
think there is some. I think there's a lot of people, especially now. You're kind of like forced. You see how everything's going on. You have the internet now. I was radicalized by Twitter.
Yeah. You feel like you're radical? You feel like you're a radical?
Yeah. And I was radicalized by Twitter. Yeah. So 2006, 2007, I found like the Illuminati. So that was like kind of cool. Read Malcolm X biography on the 8th grade. Started reading more about Black Panther. It's like, okay, and then once the Trayvon Martin thing happened, because I was on Twitter for all of that, I was like, okay, so then you kind of get more left-leaning and stuff like that.
That's so interesting because that you were seeking that. Well, because you have the internet, and the internet can take you to all sorts of places, but I guess that to me it says something about your personality that's the line you went down.
You know, because I could have gone a very dark place. Yes, because again, so I don't know if you heard the YouTube to All Right pipeline.
I know.
So I easily could have gone like that, but I was trying to avoid that because I was like, this is not right. I also got lucky that I'm a decent person, and also just had people around me to kind of say certain things. So I'm like, okay. Because you hear certain things on the internet. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But then you hear other people counter that. I was like, oh, yeah, no, that makes more sense.
What was your upbringing like? Like, were your parents really close with you or something?
Not close. Well, I mean, so my parents were working, obviously, trying to provide for a family. So they were working. I guess I just used to read a lot. My parents promoted reading. My mom used to take me to, like, the library a lot. My dad would take me to Barnes & Noble, and then he would, like, buy me books. So I would read, like, the biographies of wrestlers. Like, I was really into wrestling. So I would go to Barnes & Noble, get 1 or 2 biographies, and I would, like, read those. My mom would take me to the library. So I guess just reading. Okay.
And they just encourage you to be thoughtful, critical thinking.
I don't know if they encouraged it, but just so happy. I guess they just encouraged me to, like, just take me.
To read.
They just gave me, like, chances to pursue this.
Well, that's good. And you also said you don't like devil's advocates. I have my own feelings about that, but I'm curious why. What is it about that?
As a black woman once said, the devil doesn't need an advocate.
Yeah.
And also, cause look at the issue that people are trying to play devil's advocate about. We don't need that shit.
Right.
You're just being a dickhead at that point.
My negative feelings towards devil's advocate partly come from my own issues. Like, growing up, I would play devil's advocate because I was surrounded by a bunch of evil white dudes who their whole thing is devil's advocate. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's who mostly are. And I used to do that shit too. And I was like,
because you're young.
And I realized I was like, oh, that's annoying and that's dumb. And then, but also I didn't do it from like just trying to play the other part. It's also like I'm interested. Like, let me see the other side. Which that part is not devil's advocate. If you're like, hey, what about this side? That's not playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
It's just, and I also think devil's advocate, you're also just not standing on anything. You're just trying to argue another point just for the sake of it, and that shit's annoying, especially when you're talking about like actual issues. Put a picture of me. Yeah. Put the picture of me that you're gonna take during the audio.
But devil's advocate, yeah. Where it was like anytime I would say something reasonable, there's this in the same way of hiding. You know what it reminds me of? It's how you ever meet a comic that gets on stage to say horrific shit that's not funny. But they're saying, well, I'm telling jokes. It's like, well, you're...
Oh, so an open mic.
Yeah.
Have I been to an open mic?
That's
yes.
Right.
In a big city, in a small city, in a suburb? Yes, I have, actually.
Yeah, they're hiding behind comedy to say horrific shit.
Yeah.
Essentially. And you don't fuck with that.
No.
That makes sense. Okay. I've been super curious about this.
And I like that saying that's like the devil doesn't need its own advocate. So like, what are we doing? Unless that's how you feel, then say that.
Right. I think that is a great statement. But you said, okay, there's 2 things. I'm going to give you some options here.
Okay.
We can talk about how we first met, or you can ask the questions that you had for me.
Do you remember how we first met?
If I remember correctly, we were in Wrigleyville. I think it was... What is the Stretch. I think we were at Stretch, and there was a mic across the street, and I was really new, and you were like, "Hey, man, go across the street." That's all I remember.
That sounds about right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that sounds like me being like, "Oh, hey, you're a new comic."
Yeah. Go there.
Go get stage time. Yeah, you're trying to get as much stage time because I think it was in California, and then I will see you around and blah blah blah. Yeah.
And that was it. And then it felt like I didn't see you for a long time after that.
Because the scene is so big. Also part of it, even if you go to a mic every day, the scene is so big that you're not gonna miss. You're gonna just miss people.
Right.
That's yeah.
And I've missed you, and I should have gotten you on here a year ago. Apparently, and I just didn't do that. Okay.
No, but then we would just like cross paths and like say what's up. We would talk like a little bit.
Yeah, you've always been chill. Weird. You're very strange. But just chill. Mm-hmm. Okay. What did you write it? I'm so curious.
I have so many questions.
What? Okay. Yeah. Go for it. This is different. No one ever asked me shit.
What's your relationship with white women?
Complicated and difficult. Growing up, I was surrounded by white people.
Yeah, cause this is why I asked. Cause you grew up in California, not like the liberal part of it.
No.
Which a lot of people would think like California is so like no, that's where Ronald Reagan was governor.
Yeah,
he was born in Iowa, I think.
Mm-hmm. Have you been to California?
Yes, Los Angeles and San Diego. I hated San Diego. Los Angeles is okay.
Why'd you hate San Diego?
To be fair, I hate the comedy scene more so than San Diego. San Diego was cool. One of my friends drove me there for my birthday to the beach. That was cool and chill. Yeah. They just say a lot of edgy shit, a lot of just out far shit, and it's like, okay, this is not funny. You guys are just saying the most wild shit you can say on a microphone.
Right.
What's the punchline?
Lack of perspective, just shock.
Yeah.
I get you. Well, most people don't, they don't, especially in the Midwest, they don't understand that California is huge. Like you're thinking of, when you think California, you think San Diego, LA, San Francisco. That's what you're thinking. Everything else is fucking desert and crazy people. Mm-hmm. And so I grew up in a suburban, deserty place, and the women, the girls I was around, they were white, and so that was my options. And so I ended up mostly with white women, white girls, and having to deal with their families, having to deal with their dads, their grandparents, having to deal with them and the manipulation and the trauma that came with that. Mm-hmm. Having to deal with being raised around a bunch of white dudes and then picking up on their bad habits and then not treating women well in general.
Right.
So can you
wait? So you're saying it wasn't rap music?
No, surprisingly, no. The rap music didn't make me want to.
Tell me it was your environment.
Yeah, right.
You tell me it was people around you.
When you ask that, what do you? Can you get more specific with the question? My relationship to them? What do you mean?
No, that's literally all it was, and then just going from there.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Because my relationship was white women, so.
Well, yeah, I want to hear about it.
I hate white people. So.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I remember the one time I really liked this white woman, and I told one of my friends, I'm like, hey, I think I'm dating this white woman. I really like them. And then they were like surprised. They were like, what? You're dating a white woman? And you really like it? Like, so that's where it was like from. And like I said, and I knew you come from like this area, this very racist area.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, because it either goes one or two ways, right? You go from like, I guess the third one, but mostly two ways. Yeah. You're either like me, like fuck white women, I'm just gonna move other people, or you're like kind of like put them in a pedestal and all this other stuff.
I used to put them on a pedestal because that's what was presented in the media. It was like basically if you're a Latino, Asian women were presented as sexual, but not people. Yeah, for lack of a better word. And then black women were
hypersexualized.
Yeah,
kind of like Latinas and black. I guess all people. Isn't that? That's weird.
When I was coming up, black women were presented as like crackheads and shit, and so they present white women as the pinnacle or whatever, and that's all you know. And then
like if you want to be treated well, go with a white woman.
That's essentially what it was. And the irony is, I was not treated well just because I was with a white woman. Like if anything, it got way worse.
They all broke my heart. The two white women that I've dated that I really fell in like with broke my heart.
Is that why you hate white people?
No, this was before. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like because this is because of what they've done. What is it? What they've done in history. Yeah. And also when you kind of like talk to them, they're like, it's kind of weird to feign ignorance in 2023. There's this old white comic, and he's really cool, but he did not know what ACAB was in 2023. And it's like, all right, at that point.
do you feel like my place about white people has gone all over the place and will continue to.
Yeah.
My emotions about it get really extreme, and I think the reason, like, I don't hate them. I'm hurt by them. Like, I think I felt hatred, but that hatred came from, I had to realize this, came from the fact that these were people I grew up around and I trusted. Like, I'm in your house, I'm eating your I'm sleeping over here, and to find out later you're calling me a nigger and you're saying crazy shit, and it's like, and you're voting for Donald Trump and you don't give a fuck, like,
yes,
and it's like
it's betrayal. Yeah,
I felt betrayed. I was like, I trusted you, and that's where that anger comes from. The place I'm at now, though, is I don't think they care. I think they're very much apathetic about everything. So like that old white dude you're talking about, he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's where I'm at. It's like, okay, if you don't care, then whatever.
I
can't fuck with you at that point.
Yeah, and I'm also trying to, and this is what I struggle with. I was talking with James Fisher Jr. or Jamal G. Probably maybe both about this. That
interesting people. I don't hate them.
Okay.
I just think they have interesting takes on certain stuff.
Okay.
One of them might hate me, but they have interesting takes.
Okay.
But I don't hate them. I have no ill will towards them. But
that's good.
I've heard them talk on certain things. I'm like, that's an interesting take.
Interesting as in you disagree with it?
A little bit.
Okay, that was a very polite way. That take is stupid. But we were talking about. I know I was talking about with probably both of them about my relationship with white people and all that, and how. With white women in particular, I want to acknowledge that you are a woman and that there is an inherent struggle in that. But it's so difficult because it feels like my struggle is not then acknowledged on the opposite end. And that's what I struggle with.
Yeah. 53% of white women voted for Trump in 2016.
How many?
53%.
So it's their fault.
2016. Yeah, a little bit.
Why?
It's a lot of self-hate.
You think so?
Well, because to be fair, white supremacy affects everyone. I think that's also why I kind of hate white people, because they're ignorant to like accept that, and it affects us all. Same thing with like going back to like Israel and also like even South Africa, the apartheid. At a certain point, it even affects those that are like, because it takes so much to like trying to defend it and hold it all together. Eventually, it kills you all. It's a suicide death cult.
So you feel like if what they did only affected themselves, that'd be one thing, but because it ekes out onto everyone.
No, it affects everyone else, like you and me, but it also affects them.
It hurts them.
Kind of like the patriarchy and all this other stuff.
Niggas can't cry.
Yeah, so like it affects us too. It affects women the most. Well, I said it affects all the most. I obviously they take the bigger bear of it all.
Yeah, I guess
because they couldn't get credit cards until the 70s.
I find it. Ooh, this might be a really aggressive take.
What?
But I find the white women vote 53% Trump, all this stuff. I find it almost cowardly that you know that the top of the heap is abusing you and you're hiding under that. You're like, well, I can shit on everyone else. I'm getting shit on here, but at least I can shit on everyone else as long as I take this shit to the face. And there's something about that just irks me, I guess. Yeah.
It is complicated, yeah.
What is it?
But you still fuck white women then.
I haven't been with a white woman since my ex, since I moved out here.
Okay.
Yeah. And she was great. She is great, was great. I love her to death.
Shout out to you, because there's some fine white women in these parts.
Thanks.
In these parts.
Yeah. No, it's like you heard Kendrick's new album or newer.
I'm not a fan of Kendrick. I'm gonna be out here and say it.
Okay. So you're playing devil's advocate, right?
No, not even devil's advocate. That's just how I feel.
Why?
I don't like. It's not for me.
Okay. All right.
Let's be interested. I've tried to listen to it. It's just like, this is not for me.
There's a song.
I love Baby Keem though.
I think I'm an old man and you're just a young man. I think that's what's happening right now.
Baby Keem.
I
think this will be Kendrick's best career. It's this part where you kind of collabs with Baby Keem. I think that'll be.
You're a young man, and you know.
The new album, the one his father technically started as a collab. This is what they say. Obviously, we need them to affirm, because obviously you know how the internet just be making shit up. But they say that the new album was supposed to be a collab album with Baby Keem, and then Kendrick was like, "Nah, let me turn this into what do you hear now."
Well, I like what I hear now, but it's hard for me to listen to. Mr. Morale is not a fun listen, I would say. But there's a song on there, I can't remember which one it is, but he talks about how when he first went on tour, he's like, the first time I fucked a white bitch, it felt like I was getting something. It felt like I was getting revenge almost, and that's not okay. Internally, that's not a good space to be. But that was the headspace I had been in for a long time.
Yeah,
it felt like I'm getting something back from that was taken from me. And it's complicated. I don't know. It comes down to it's complicated.
Then that is a lot. I wasn't expecting. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good though. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I don't feel like that when I'm fucking wild. It's like just revenge. I'm like, okay, cool. No, you're one of the. I'm like, you're one of the good ones.
No, there's a lot.
And then they hurt my heart, and I was like, fuck.
There's a lot of.
I feel like the third one might kill me.
So no more. You're not gonna date white women.
To be fair, I am in a relationship, so
with a white woman?
No.
Mexican?
She's Mexican.
Hey, good for you. How is she feeling about the whole comedy thing?
She's a fan.
Okay. She was a fan, and that's how you...
No. So, all right. So, there's a lot to unpack here.
Okay.
To be fair, there's not much to unpack. It's the second part of our relationship being open. I think she has more of a problem with that than the comedy one. So, I met her on Hinge.
Okay.
On Hinge, I don't say that I'm a comedian. But I do have my Instagram handle there just because there's a picture of me moving, which I kind of like. So I just posted there, and the person who posted it put my handle in the middle.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do extra stuff just to cover it. So I'm like, it's there if you want to look at my other stuff. So we met on Hinge, cool and all. And then obviously, if you like, obviously women, as your due diligence, you're going to do research on a guy, which you should. Technically, men, we should also do that for women, but we don't just because we're not thinking of things that they think, right? Like all that stuff.
We don't expect them to murder us.
Yeah, exactly. So then that's how she found my comedy. She's like, "Oh my god, you're so funny," blah blah blah. But comedy was never, when we started talking all that stuff, she didn't know about my comedy. But now that she's gone to my shows, I've taken to, unfortunately, I've taken her to open mics.
Oh Jesus!
But she's a fan of me and a big fan of my comedy.
And that's good for you. How long have you guys been together?
Since 9/11. That was our official start of our relationship. But
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
All right.
No.
Okay.
The story is I thought we already were in a relationship because we kind of defined what it was going to be, which was like open relationship.
Wow.
So then I forgot something about me calling her like her girlfriend, and she's like, "I didn't know you were my girlfriend." And like I didn't know we're like in a relationship. I was like, okay, and it was like on 9/11, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll ask you out on 9/11. And then she was like, oh wait, no. I was like, no, you already said it. So like I was like, okay, do you want to be my girlfriend on 9/11? So it just so happened.
So anytime you guys have an anniversary,
yeah,
get to do some silly shit. So it's in an open relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Is this your first open? I'm gonna turn the vibrator on.
Ooh, there's gonna be vibrators. Okay. All right, I wasn't expecting to use a vibrator on another man, but I'm with it.
You don't know. I live near Boys Town. You don't know. What is this your first open relationship?
Yes.
And
yes, because like this is technically my first relationship since before COVID. Since then, it's just been a lot of just situationships and just fucking. Sure.
Why open? Like, what made you decide that?
It was a mixture of. I didn't realize that was an option.
Huh.
And I realized it was an option until I see my friends around it. And it's kind of something, even with my previous relationship, I kind of wanted, but didn't know how to like articulate it until I seen other people. And I think just because I'm an individual who I do want to be in a committed relationship, but I still have this energy and desire to still meet other people. Because there's a lot, there's fun in going on dates with other people and just seeing and just exploring that type of energy. Yeah,
I know. I polyamorous as well. But my goal is a triad. Like no bullshit. Yeah, my thing is a triad. So that's my goal. So when I talk to women, I'm like, this is what I want, just so you know, and we go from there. Yeah. This is
so because me and another friend are in open relationships, and they don't tell the women that they date, because he's like, this is just gonna be a hookup, so I'm not gonna. They don't say they're in an open relationship unless they ask, or if it gets to a certain point where they have to be like, okay. So do you tell people that you're like dating from the front, like, hey, I'm polyamorous, or do you kind of wait to see where it goes?
At this point, I say straight up.
Okay.
At this point, when I talk to a woman and I usually will say, what is it that you're looking for? Let her get that out so I can hear it and be like, okay, well, you're not going to want to talk to me.
Yeah.
But I'll hear it out, then I'll say, like, okay, well, just so you know, my long term.
Wait, well, you said it's
every 20. We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
I just want to be, now that I know, I want to be a producer too and be like, all right.
It's appreciated. I know I need help. The episode when you saw with Ken, that was when I had a cameraman and it looked nice. Now it's janky as shit.
Literally just me. Yeah, I was about to say, no one gets to see you.
yeah. No, it's all you, man. This is some flat TV shit.
Anyway, so my dad.
But no, and then I tell him like my the relationship I want long term is a triad. That's what I want. So if you're not about that, I totally respect.
But can they see other people then, or is it just all?
It's just a triad. Meaning
just tree.
It's 3 people just in one relationship.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm guessing it has to be 2 women.
Cis or trans, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, my.
So you had to date bisexual women, bi or pan?
Yeah.
I said pie. You're dating pie women?
Bi, pan, black. That's with dreadlocks. That smoke weed. That really like sage. It's very specific. I'm never gonna find love. No, but it's surprisingly not that hard to find as long as you just say directly like, that is what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah. I want to know your other questions. I'm so curious about them.
What kind of porn do you watch?
Oh shit. Depends. It depends on my mood. Like, yeah, I think that kind of answers. It really depends on my mood, my headspace.
What is the hardest pill to swallow in a relationship?
The hardest pill to swallow in a relationship.
Like what's one thing you learned about yourself that you're like, fuck?
Oh, because of a relationship?
Yeah.
That, oh God. I've been really selfish. And
me too, brother.
Fuck other people's feelings. Hold on, let me do the thing.
And we're back.
I've been really selfish and just really, in my past relationships, really self-centered and just a terrible communicator of what I wanted, why I wanted it, so on and so forth. And through moving out here and the processes and everything, I gotten better at it, and I'm proud of that.
No, same, yeah. It's weird to be like, no, I'm good at communicating, and then you're in a relationship like, oh, I'm actually really shitty.
Did something happen where it clicked, where you were like, oh no?
It's just a certain amount of times you could hurt your partner until you're like, okay.
Yeah, let me fix whatever this is.
Exactly.
I'm happy that you're very mature for your age. He said before turning off the lights and
very mature, and that turns me on. So
yeah.
Let's see how good you're good at taking this dick.
Oh my God! But yes, okay. So it's an open relationship, whatever. And she's where are you in terms of the classic question is the jealousy thing on your end?
On my end?
Yeah.
It goes back and forth. Well, I think it's more so hard on her because it's not something. I'll be honest. I don't think it's something that she really wants, but it's just something she's willing to try because she likes me a lot, and it's something that I want to try. And even before that, I did seem like there was going to be some jealousy, but I also realized, where does it stem from?
Ego?
Yes. Ego, maybe it's like misogyny. It's like, oh, like kind of just seeing this, kind of like, I guess trying to own this person. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, this is for me, but it's just kind of like letting go and trusting the other person. So it's kind of been easy. But it's also like fear, right? Because one of my fears was that she is doing part of the open relationship part, and then she finds somebody that is cool, and then it's like, hey, I kind of don't want to do this. I want to be monogamous. She wants to be monogamous, and she's like, I actually want to be monogamous too, and then she leaves me. But that's just so I guess it's more so that insecurity than the jealousy part. But I think the jealousy part is just something you just gotta take a step back and be like, just trust. You just gotta trust the other person. So it's not more than that. It's just, I guess, insecurity.
And you feel like she's doing it right now more for you?
Yes.
Does that concern you in terms of the future? Like, how long will that potentially?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we've talked about certain things, just like reinsurance and all that stuff, because just like jealousy and like insecurity on her part. But again, that just works with communication. So I just making her feel like secure and be like, hey, you are the main person. Do want to be in this relationship with you. What I do outside of it has nothing to do with us.
Do you want to get married?
No.
Okay. Do you want to have kids?
No.
All right, yeah, you'll be fine.
If there's kids, I want to adopt.
Why adopt?
And I've always been like that. Because one, you don't get to decide if you're here, and I feel like life already sucks. So imagine just being an orphan, especially because America, as much as they want people to be pro-life, once you're out the womb, it's like, you're fucked out of luck. Yeah. So if there's any way I could help kids, because kids don't deserve anything. If there's any innocent people in the world, is kids. So if I could help these people who may or may not have a rough life, because I don't also want to put like all orphans are having rough lives. Obviously, if you go through obviously if you go through the system a couple years, you're definitely
fucked.
Yes. So just any way I could help those people at an easier chance at life.
Where'd all this empathy come from?
Reading, I guess.
Reading really did something to you, didn't it?
Reading. I think reading helps you because you just. When you read fiction books, you just look at other things, and I think it's also just that's how you become a good person.
I think this is why Republicans want to take away books, is because people like you.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to be conservative or Republican and also be empathetic?
To an extent.
And what extent would that be?
Exactly.
I guess because I ask because nobody thinks they're the villain.
Yes.
There are some objective villains out there. I think the world's filled with a lot of gray, but there are some objective villains.
Like the IDF, like Israel.
There's the bad guys. That really exist.
America and Israel. Let me group them together.
I would say as a whole, we are the bad guys. I don't like to say we. I don't feel like I did any of the things that, but at the same time, these people sincerely believe they're the good. It's like how if you have the wrong information, but you're taking a lie detector test, you're going to pass the test because you sincerely believe what you're saying is right.
Well, I guess it goes to like there's someone that's like, oh, we should help immigrants, but they should come here the right way.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I guess that's what the stops, because you're like, what do you mean the right way? No one wants to leave their home. Mm-hmm.
When they say the right way, I think they mean legally because of taxes. I think their big thing is they want those people to pay taxes. Let me rephrase that actually. On the surface, they want those people to pay taxes as well. Under the surface, they are racist, in my opinion, because they're not saying shit if you're.
And also, British. Right way is such a fucking. Because what do you mean they're here? The right way. So you mean wait 5-10 years? It might not have 5-10 years.
Right.
And also the right way is if they have money. Let's be honest. That's where the good immigrant myth comes from. Is people who have money, they come here. And since they were well off, they're educated. They come here and they're educated. That stuff
feels like more of a Asian
and Nigerians. So let's not.
Nigerians, they're all about becoming doctors. How do you feel about that part of it?
Well, it is racist. One, it is racist again because they have money, like, and some Indians, right? Apparently, Sona. I don't even know Sona. Sona has this great thing of like people think that Indians are so smart, blah blah blah. It's like because all the smart people came here. You go to India, there's a bunch of stupid Indians. Right? It's like that thing of like, no, this is what America has done. They got the quote unquote good ones here. So it's like, it's racist. Now you want everybody, because they compare that to black people. It's like, oh, if Asian people, why can't black people? It's like, yeah, but that's because you picked the ones that have money. No, it's not even the culture. The ones that have money, the ones that were well off back home, are now here. And And that's not even all of them. That's not even all. That's only the ones that you're using. What about the other Asians that are like living in 22 and 22 like 1-room apartment, 2-room apartment? So you're just cherry picking the good ones just to be like, shut the fuck up. I don't have to do anything for you.
Put in your place, yeah.
Build yourself by your bootstraps, like all that stuff. So that's my problem. It's like no, and even if let's say it's true, so that means we shouldn't help the other people.
Right.
Because I do believe in free shelter and free food. It's like people are like, oh, so you want your taxes to be on people that don't work? Yeah. So who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that's fine with me too. As long as it's one of those things where if I'm good, I'll help you. I'm good.
And also after it's not gonna be obviously there's gonna be a amount of people that be like, yeah, I just don't want to worry about it, blah. But there's gonna be people that be like, okay, I have all my needs met. I want to do something.
Yeah, most people aren't that lazy. Like there's a human instinct to build and make and create. Yeah. And when all your needs are met, you can be happy while doing that. Mm-hmm.
And you could work on other things. Yeah, you could work on other things. So like, yeah, so it's also not like, so yeah, so it's like, it's also this weird thing. It's like, so you want people to work for home in food. Mm-hmm. So what if they can't work? Now they're fucked. It's like, oh, but not them. So this whole thing, just give them the base. And like you said, some people are going to be like, okay, I still want to do all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Hey, do you know Michael Cooper?
Yes.
Have you talked to him about his beliefs in economics?
A little bit, yeah.
Do you agree with him?
Parts of it, yeah. To be fair, we've agreed to I haven't had like a full-fledged conversation, but we've talked about certain things and we have similar views.
He did an episode, and when it's out, it's going to be out in like a few weeks. When it's out, I want to send it to you because I want your opinion. Because he identifies as a communist, basically, mm-hmm. and he broke it down in his way. And I don't want to butcher everything he said, but would you identify as a communist as well? Are you like a socialist? What are you?
Definitely not a socialist. I think for America, you can't jump straight to communism. You definitely need socialism. Like a Marxist, Leninist. Communist.
Can you break down those philosophies, those belief systems?
I don't want to because I want to talk about other fun stuff.
Okay, what other fun stuff you want to talk about?
All right, let's see.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know that, by the way.
Because
people will let you go down a rabbit hole and be miserable. It's like, yo, I don't know if you're miserable. So.
Oh, hey, actually, here, let's answer. Maybe before we answer, answer the first question you asked me on this podcast.
What was that?
Do you like yourself?
Oh yeah. Do you like yourself?
Sometimes. I think that's normal for everybody, right? Yeah. I guess I used to be very depressed, right? Yeah. I do talk about it in my stand-up. There's a TikTok of me saying that I've tried to kill myself.
Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I tried to kill myself. To be fair, there's technically 2 times that I've tried to kill myself. Technically, one time I couldn't do it. I physically couldn't. And the second time, I actually kind of went through with it.
With the first time, what were you trying? What was your approach?
I was trying to jump on front of a train, but on midnight, so it wasn't that selfish. Like, I think to do it during rush hour, you're a dickhead, you're an asshole.
You're a real asshole.
But like, it was like 12, 1 a.m. I was gonna take the blue line so I could go home to my car, and I was like, I should just jump on the train, and my feet couldn't physically jump in front of the train.
How old were you?
21. 22, 21.
So you were doing comedy at that point. That was recent.
Yeah.
What was going on, man? Why didn't you call me?
You weren't here yet.
I was 23.
No, because we met after COVID. I guess during COVID. During or after COVID.
Oh, this was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You should have still called me. Hey, Aaron Chase, what's up, man? I don't know you.
Also, it just feels weird calling people and going through the because also sometimes because I did that one time. You know, they're like, "Yo, call people when you feel it," and then everyone was just busy, and I was like, "All right, well then this feels bad." Now I reached out, and no one is available, so now I just feel worse.
All right, well, future reference, you can call me if you want.
No, I'm in a much better place.
Okay, all right.
I am in a much better place now where. I think about suicide, but more so like kind of how everyone thinks about it.
Philosophical.
Not in philosophical. I was like, oh man, I don't have to deal with the stress, blah blah blah. But back then it was like, no, actually, what killing myself was a thing. To be fair, like it has always been like that. Like I never planned on living past 16. I was like, I'll probably kill myself or die at 16.
Well, glad you didn't do that.
And then
But then what? So and then what was the second time where you tried it and it didn't work?
During COVID, obviously because
you let someone sneeze in your face.
No, cause so it's this weird thing, right? So again, going back to the empathetic thing, it's like the same thing of like, well, I'm not gonna get into a car accident because one, that might not kill me, and two, it might kill the other people, and now that person, and now so many people are affected, and that's fucked up, right? It could be someone's child, someone's father, all these other things. So the same way, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go get COVID because then I'm gonna give all these other people COVID who might die, and then the domino effect of that. So no, it was just trying to overdose on medication.
Would you like Tylenol? You need something stronger than Tylenol, right?
No, it was like wine mixed with with some pills.
Did you get sleepy? What happened? You just woke up?
Yeah, I just woke up and I was like, all right, well, and then I went to the Zoom meeting. My friend had this like Zoom thing.
That's the Zoom Gen Z shit.
The Zoom event. I was like, all right, I guess I'll get on this Zoom event. I'm still alive.
Did you wake up thinking, oh, when you woke up, was there like a processing? Did you remember what you did?
Yeah.
Did it freak you out at all?
No, I was like, fuck, it didn't work. I was like, fuck, now I gotta sit with these emotions. Like, okay, you've killed yourself. It didn't work. So now what? Are you gonna do it again, or are you gonna figure it out?
Right. And that was was that the moment that you shifted into liking yourself a little more?
To be fair, I guess I kind of liked myself when I wanted to kill myself, but because it goes in ways. Like we all can't just like ourselves all the time. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just I guess just working myself and doing certain things.
I think for me, I didn't like myself not because I didn't know myself. Mm-hmm. Like moving out to Chicago was the time. That first year was just me figuring out who the fuck I even am, and I feel like I've upset and rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in that process. But what are you gonna do?
Me too, brother. But I also was young. I also don't think people realize, because when I started stand up, I was 18.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people don't understand, like, oh no, he's young.
Yeah.
And I think that's also because there's other young people who are better at like just being better, like just more mature, I guess. Mm-hmm. So it's like one of those things.
Do you feel
there were some people like because someone told me like, oh, I think you were a dickhead, and then I thought about it. I was like, oh wait, he's 20, he's early, he's like 22. Yeah. Of course he's gonna be a fucking dickhead.
This is what you're supposed to be. If you're mature at 21, that's almost weird.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. All right, what's your next question? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, some you've answered. I want to talk to you about like racism and segregation because you kind of went from a racist area.
Yeah, we can talk about.
We grew up to like here in Chicago, which is also racist. Segregated and racist.
It's more clear out here. Mm-hmm. Where I was from, it's conservative and racist. It got real in your face when Trump became president, and then when quarantine happened and all that. But my life growing up, it was very elusive.
Oh, that's 15. Okay, we still got time.
It was very elusive. It was very. When you're a kid, oh, you're a good black person. You're not like the other. Like they're trying to be, and they sincerely believe that's a compliment.
Yeah.
Like in their hearts, they're like, I helped him realize he's not one of those monkeys. Like that's.
And it's like no, it's like they don't see like this is you viewing. Look how you're viewing black people. Like they're this subhuman, except for this one guy.
Yeah, and they just very manipulative. They'll really get in your head. They will get in your fucking head. And out here,
make you feel like you're wrong.
Yes, there have been. I thought I was crazy for so many years.
Me too. I ain't gonna lie.
Because of the racism stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, can you? Why on your end?
Because you notice all these microaggressions and all this stuff, and you tell other people, and they're like, "Nah, it's blah blah blah," and you're like, "No, they're being." But they're being ill.
If enough people do it to you, if everyone around you is like, "No, man, what are you saying?" You start to feel like, I guess I must be making shit up. I guess.
Yeah.
And it goes back to this is where the hatred thing comes, the white women thing comes. It's just such an awful thing to fuck with a kid's head like that and make them feel like they're crazy because people are fucking with them. And I know on some level it's because they literally don't understand and whatever.
But that doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right. But that's how I've had to this is where that anger then comes up. I've had to spend so many years in my head being the someone slaps you, turn the other cheek, show the whatever. I've had to do that for so long that I've basically made excuses for them.
Yeah.
And
then that's where you get even crazier because now you're just doing all these mental gymnastics.
Mm-hmm. But out here, I love it. I love it because not that because it's blunt, because obviously you don't want it when it's blunt. That's also awful.
And they're still subtle, especially in the comedy scene.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Talking to you.
But
I'm joking. They're not listening to it. There's people that are listening to this podcast. I'm not saying that, but I'm like the white comics that we're talking to. They're probably not listening to this.
From what I can tell, the fans of this podcast are like new open micers. They all want to see the comedians that are already doing shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which has been interesting. But
we're not talking about comedy, but
sorry,
thank you for still being listening. Thank you for listening to this part. But yeah, it does get you to like like you said, it's just
so crazy.
And when you tell other people, they're like, "Nah, bro," or like, "Nah, don't even worry about it." It's like, "Nah, dog." It's like,
yeah. And then there's times where I truly am wrong, but I've been ramped up. The slightest thing I then freak out over, and then I have to reel myself in and be like, oh, okay, that really actually was not racist.
Yeah.
And I'm
Don't
actually
forget to reset your thing.
Oh yeah, thank you. You're a great producer, man.
Come on, man. This is a joint project.
Yeah, man. That's pretty. Just join the journey project. But I'm actually going to be facing these demons coming up this December. I'm going to be visiting Riverside for the first time.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I'm nervous.
You should be. Yeah. Because you're gonna be a whole new person now, and then so you're gonna have that challenge of like, do you revert you back to the old you, or do you step in with the embrace the new you, and and just be in uncomfortable situations.
Why do you think I'll end up in uncomfortable situations as the new me? Why?
Well, because the people that you know, they don't know the new you. So they're going to expect you to act a certain way. They're going to act like the old you.
Right.
So certain things they might have said or done might have been cool with the old you, but the new you might be like, hey.
Boundaries, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people don't take that very well.
He changed, bro. He went to Chicago and he thought he got it. Yeah.
Exactly. And again, certain people just don't take boundaries well. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to let you treat you like shit anymore. And certain people are like, what the fuck? And then that's just like a whole thing.
Yeah. The jiu-jitsu's helped with that as well. Dude, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but I love it. It has made me a much
I think it's good. Not even just to learn because it does build confidence. It just does instill perspective and all these other great things that I think it is important for everybody. Yeah. I was very excited when like my brother used to box. It was like for a short while.
Did you ever get into martial arts?
No.
Why not?
I don't fuck with any of that shit.
Why?
Well, on the entertainment side of it, it's just too violent for me. It's like fuck. Like this is why I like pro wrestling because it's supposed to seem violent, but it's actually pretty safe.
Yeah.
And then there's the drama of it. No, like yes, there's certain things are gonna happen, but the point is the two people are protecting each other.
Right, they're not actually.
Yes, versus like boxing all that stuff. You're like, no, you're trying to basically kill the other person.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yes, and there's certain and like there's that one boxer who got hit like in the back of the head, and now he's like, so like that's what I don't fuck with. But as far as like all the other stuff, it's just like I'm just lazy. But even the training, all that stuff, I'm just lazy.
Fair enough.
So yeah, so I fuck with it like the training and doing it like that because like you said, it builds confidence. It instills like work ethic and all that stuff, which is good, right? So that part I do fuck with. But as far as like the actual acting out of it all, is like.
That's so interesting. Okay, this will be fun. So my professor, Professor Greg, he chats with me. He's very devout Islam, I believe it is, and we were talking about stand-up or whatever, and he was like, do you feel like comedy could be dangerous in the sense that it can not dilute, but desensitize somebody to something horrific? For example, white dude gets on stage, talks about Hamas and all the shit, and by making people laugh about this horrific stuff, it is desensitizing them to how horrific it actually is.
Yeah.
Do you feel that's...
Yeah.
Okay.
There's certain things, but also because it helps certain things, right? You also see like certain people you see it all the time. Yeah, not even extremely stuff like that, right? But it's just certain things. But I don't think it's much as stand-up. It just reinforces certain perspectives in society, if that makes sense. Like, someone get on a stage, like, oh my god, there's too many people, we're overpopulated, blah, 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 right? They might just say it. They might be just a small point to a bigger joke, but it's that one thing where people are like, oh yeah, that's true, I agree with that. And it's like, that's not the problem. The problem is not overpopulation. There's no such thing as overpopulation. Is the lack of resources being divided or shared and all that other stuff.
Well, I mean, wouldn't overpopulation create the lack of resources?
No.
Why not?
There's enough resources. There's literally, this is what I mean. No, but this goes with capitalism, right? Sure. Because places and groceries have to throw away food. Right. Because if they just give it away, that's gonna fuck up. It fucks up the economy and so there is enough food and to feed all these people. Right. But because of capitalism, it's like, no, if we do this, then it's gonna fuck up all this other stuff. The other example. Because there's enough shelter to house everybody. Yes. But we don't do it because then it won't force people to work, right? It's like when 2020 is when there was a real work shortage. I forgot what it's called, but it's like this thing. There was an actual where workers had more power, and then you saw people on Fox News be like, no, because of they were giving people, if you didn't have money, like workers comp. So people are like, why would I work this shitty ass job when I'm getting paid, right? Yeah. Which is beautiful. Fair. So you should. Yeah. And then all these CEOs were like, you gotta let them starve. Yeah. So that's how they get back to work. So that's where it's going. So that's what I'm saying. There's enough all of these resources to feed everybody. So the problem isn't overpopulation, is that certain people just don't want to share the resources, or they have to keep it tight. So that's how you can force people to work. Because that's what homelessness is used, is for you and me to be like, do you want to be homeless? No, you better work the shitty ass job. Right. But and what they don't tell you is a lot of these homeless people. Also, what they don't tell you, homelessness is not because they're lazy or they're drugs. They're probably drug addicts because they're homeless, and that fucks with you mentally. Because a basic need as a human is shelter. So if you don't have that basic need, root chakra, how do you deal with that shit? So then you go to drugs, because why the fuck wouldn't you? The number one reason for homelessness is you're priced out. You can't afford rent. There's people who are because all these people, I think it was like 40% of people that are there's 40% of people that are homeless but have jobs. Yeah, I believe that. Because you can not earn a living wage, which is so crazy. Yeah. I'm going to ask a question and then I'm going to ask you to give me another one of your questions, because we're already going back down that political rabbit hole. Okay. But would you ever get into politics? Would you ever become like a senator or something? Not a senator. I do want to do community outwork. I've done some. I donate to funds, like the strike funds. I donate to certain things, like call my politicians, send them emails and stuff like that. Okay. But as far as that, not really, because you can't. It's more community outreach than anything. Okay. Helping with the community more, so I think that was where you do, because you can't really change the system from within. You gotta destroy. It's the same thing with cycles, right? If you wanna, what's this quote of like, if you wanna like create change, you need to destroy the cycle and start a new one. You can't change something and expect that to work. You gotta destroy that whole cycle and start a new one. Did you hear that? Yes. Okay. But I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm talking about the community. Someone's getting beat up. Well, not gonna do anything about that. How did you know that you were old? Whoa! Wait, what? How did I know I was old? Yeah. What do you mean? Okay, this is what I'm saying. I know that I'm getting old because I now need my sleep. Okay. There was a point where I would be able to go to sleep at 2 or 3 a.m. and wake up at 7 and be good until like the day where I need a nap. Now I'm at a point where I'm like, oh no, Dad, if I have to wake up at school at 8 a.m., I need to sleep at a reasonable hour, or else I'm fucked. And that's how I know I'm getting old. So I've always been a sleep guy. I've always needed sleep, so that wasn't it for me. I'm gonna scroll and see if I can find it. It might. I don't even know if we'll see. But when my metabolism started going and I actually had to start working out, was when I realized I was getting old. I'm kind of at that point too. Do you actually have to start working out? Yeah. To be fair, I've always like worked out and like stuff like that, but like now I'm like, it's more so. You like have to. And
I'm trying to find it.
Is it a picture of yourself when you were fat?
I wouldn't say. I mean, so this was the tough part. People would not say I was fat because of my body type, because I'm really tall, so I hold weight better than I think the average person would. But for me and my experience, and my general, the way I looked most of my life was thin. Mm-hmm. So to see any weight coming on was like jarring for me. I'm gonna keep scrolling while you do whatever it is that you're about to do, because I think you're about to do something.
No, I'm just fucking around. Because at this point I can't really keep talking because I need to wait for you. So right now I'm just chilling.
I mean, you can keep. All right. You're sassy. I'm gonna make this.
No, because the questions I knew on this. Because I do you want to share other times that I knew? Those are kind of like the two ones.
Yeah.
I guess the other point, and I don't know, I'm old, like dating but that was always been a thing.
Why?
I need a dating in the sense of like
goals now.
No, not goals. It's like, to be fair, this was even when I first started dating at 22, 23.
Yeah.
Just dating other women that are like, I actually want to be in a relationship now. Because I've done all the whoring and stuff like that. Because I actually they done all the whoring and fucking around stuff. So like, I want to be in a relationship. It's like, I'm just starting. Because I didn't really date in high school. A big part of that was because I wasn't really interested.
Why not?
It's just a lot of work.
Okay.
Like, I didn't start driving until I was 21. So it was a mixture of two things. One, I didn't realize I had to make women would make the first move, and I realized, I still have to make the move. I had to just kind of let them do it. But also part of that was like, because I don't want to tell my mom, like, or figure out, okay, I have to be here at a certain time. Also, I need to ask for money, blah, blah, blah. It was just easier to play 2K. It's easier to watch porn and play 2K.
Yeah, the road of least resistance.
Yeah, and then I started doing comedy. Then I was like, I want to focus on comedy and stuff like that. So I didn't really get into my first relationship till like I was like 21, 22.
What's your goal in stand-up? What's like the dream scenario?
So the dream scenario, to be honest, is either where I pay all my bills doing stand-up, or where I could work kind of like a part-time job and mostly focus on stand-up. Because I'll be honest, going on the road and being touring is cool. If I could get to that point, obviously I'll take it, but it's not like one of my main goals. Because I don't like really being on the road.
So for your
I don't really like being like constantly. I don't want my creative thing to be like, okay, fuck, if I don't be creative, I can't eat.
I think I know that feeling, and for me personally, I've solved it through like learning how to draw and like the jujitsu and the film stuff.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean. When your passion becomes your income, it stops being your passion.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you would be happy working part-time and being a comedian.
Yeah. And if I could be, like I said, if I could be a full-time, I'm also not going to be like, oh, no, now it's like, like you said, creative. No, I'll take it, but.
Do you feel like you're headed that direction?
Before COVID, I was.
That's right. What happened? So what was going on at the time that made you feel like you had momentum?
I was getting booked a lot. I was like hitting this stride. I was hitting this creative stride. Oh my God. I was killing it. Every time I hit that, every new stuff, I was like just this stride. Me and a couple people were going to go on tour. I was starting to hit, I was working, I had connections, clubs in the scene were starting to fuck with me. And then COVID happened, certain people left. Obviously the connections I had were gone. Club bookers, some moved and blah, blah, blah. So it was like, so everything kind of just changed. And I changed also.
What do you mean?
COVID broke me. COVID broke me.
How so?
Well, part of it, besides committing suicide, I just became like I kind of just became like this whole new person. And because I think chasing comedy, I think chasing any dreams, you have to be delusional. And part of that is gone. That delusion is gone.
This is a mistake.
No, it's not a mistake. I was like, okay, maybe how I wanted to pursue it isn't the best way. And to be fair, like I said, a part of that is also just because it got a whole lot worse, so it now isn't as feasible. So maybe back then it was still stupid, but it's more feasible. And like I said, I had the album, but now it's like, okay.
Okay, I'm back. So you feel like comedy is less feasible now?
No, it's not the less feasible. It's like, first of all, everything in entertainment is not feasible.
Sure.
But you have to have this earned belief in comedy. But I think now is just
that delusion went away for you.
Yes. And I think just because I've been more self-aware of what's going on around.
Does that make you sad? Do you wish you had that delusion still?
It is what it is. I don't think it's good or bad because it just is what it is.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm still working toward. Like I said, I'm still doing all this stuff, blah blah blah.
Right.
But I think that just that and also I get just starting beginning because now I'm like a new person. So like, how do I write from this new me? So that's also taking time. Cause I like I said, cause who I was before COVID, I was killing it, dog. When I tell you, like creatively, I was just.
Do you think you can get back to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can. I hope so. I think I can. It was just cool because I know I can just because I've seen certain comedians who've been doing it for a long time. Who I felt like, damn, you're doing it for this long and you're still like trash. Mid. No, not even trash, just mid. And some of them have kind of hit like this great stride where they're killing it. Like, okay, it's possible. Okay. But I also always thought it was work hard. But it's just, yeah, like I said, it's just trying to refine it and all this other stuff. And it's just hard, especially right now because I'm going back to school. So now I'm burnt out. It's just exhausting doing all these different things.
When are you done with school?
In 2 years. Yeah, I just started the program, so it's just one of those things.
That's thinking about school gives me anxiety. Fuck that.
But like I said, then I'll have enough money where I could live in the city, which will help me a lot, and then go from there.
I have one more question, and then if you have another question, you're welcome to ask it, and then we'll do the last one. When we were in the second city, and I said something about being bored, what were we talking about? Because I was like, we can just talk about it on the podcast.
I'll be honest, I don't remember.
Okay.
I think you were about something about how everything's like calm and peaceful, and you kind of hate it because you're like used to this chaos thing.
You're putting your words in my mouth. I don't think I said I hated it. Okay.
To be fair, you would say something, and then I'll be like this, and be like, okay, that's not what I'm trying to say. Sure. So you also, I guess, you weren't being as communicative or.
I think I was in producer mode.
Yeah. Which fair, because yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming out, by the way.
No, thank you so much for having me. It was a fun show. Yeah. It was a super fun show, a great show, and you guys always have the baddies. It's fun to perform in a room.
Can I quote you, and then we'll put that under the Luis? We always got the baddies.
Yeah. Because I've been to 2 shows, the one I was at, and then the other show, and there's been baddies so far.
I think that's Laro giving info to all the ratchets, but
no, they weren't ratchets.
Well, they were high quality. So they were from Wisconsin. I think I was saying, like, I'm happy now. Okay, that's right. Okay. Being happy is calm and it's chill. And when you come from a place of chaos, sometimes it can be hard to be in that space. Sometimes, like, you want to revert back to old habits because there is an excitement to things happening.
Do you think it's excitement, or you're just kind of like scared of like this won't last forever, and rather than it come for me first, I'll come to it first? It's like being in a happy relationship and then you self-destruct and you sabotage it, being like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna get myself before you get me.
I think it's probably a mix. I think there is a sincere, like, I think what you're saying is accurate. Like, oh, this will not last forever, and it's scary. And then there's also,
or like, what if I fuck it up or like something? So let me fuck it up.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I think there also is this feeling of like, maybe bored is not the right word, but there is this feeling of like quiet. Like when I'm in this apartment all day. I have not I was outside one day. I was outside for like 2 minutes when I grabbed you to bring you in here. Mm-hmm. I'm in here like all the time. And there's such a quiet to that. And that can make you feel a little, I don't know, weird. Or
is that like a lack of isolation?
Yeah, it's probably isolation.
I think that's for isolation.
Effect there.
I think you should maybe walk around, maybe hang out with friends outside of a podcast.
Yeah, I do shit.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy. There's nothing wrong. I'm happy. Do you have another question before I ask you the
I have so many questions.
Okay. I look forward to this next one.
Would you date comics? Have you dated comics? And we never really talked about porn. I want to go back to that.
Okay. You want to talk about porn or dating comics?
I mean, we could do both. Does it really have to be one?
That's fair.
Are we on a time limit?
Ish. in the sense that my camera's only going to last for so long.
Okay. Here, let's talk about the dating comics and stuff because I've talked about porn in like 2 podcasts. So let me maybe.
You don't want to be the porn guy.
Sure. No, I do, but I want to be a porn star, man. But I don't think this is the way to do it. But go ahead.
You would date a porn star?
Yeah, I'll date sex worker.
Do you? I feel like that would bother you at a certain point, wouldn't it? No.
If you're insecure, it's a.
Would you watch her work?
Like live?
At all, I guess.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay.
It's this weird thing because I consume it a lot, so it'd be weird for me to turn around and be like, oh, I can't date them, because then you gotta be like, where's that? Where does that stem from?
Ego.
Or insecurity, not even ego, maybe insecurity.
Is ego and insecurity connected?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a weird podcast.
Yeah.
I like this.
But yeah, like, one of the things, because it's like sex work still work. Like it's like saying like, oh, I wouldn't date a dentist.
I don't think that's the same thing.
It is.
Okay, hold on.
Because what's the difference?
What's the difference? Your girlfriend is not wrapping her mouth around another man's penis when she's doing dentist work.
Okay, but that's work.
It is work. You're correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's work.
It's work, yeah.
It's a job.
It is a job. It is a job. That's why they call it blowjobs. Would I date a... no.
Not a comment?
No.
The only job... Here, let me clarify. There is one job that you should not date somebody.
Okay.
And that's if they're a cop.
Okay. Why?
Because cops are class traitors.
Okay. What about firemen?
You are upholding... No, firemen is cool. You're helping the community. A cop is you are kind of upholding the status quo. You are upholding and protecting the system that does damage and kill us. So, like, yes, I will have a problem dating a cop. But if it's a porn star or OnlyFans model, it's just a job. You're just selling... Yeah. We're all selling our bodies and our time at the end of the day, so...
Could you say that the cop is selling their body and their time?
Yeah, but you don't have to do that. Yeah, but you don't have to do that.
Be a porn star. Please stop making me defend cops. All right, look out.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a porn star. You make so much money from being a porn star. Why wouldn't you? Okay. Speak of all the porn stars and like OnlyFans models who make money. Obviously, not all of them make money, but the ones are like, I make so much money that I have the freedom and financial to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not hurting anybody. I know it's not hurting anybody. Cops are hurting people.
Okay.
Cops are hurting people. You are upholding a violent system.
All right. Now, what would be the alternative? So I'm of the belief system.
And obviously, cops is not bad, but the way cops is right now is.
Yeah, the literal system is. An individual police officer, an individual person.
It is still hurting, actually. Individual cop is. Remember, there's a reason why all the good cops either get killed or quit.
Right. But I am saying, though, that you're making me defend. Fuck, I hate that.
You don't have to.
Yeah, but
you could just shut the fuck up.
But I won't.
Hey, man, you could be like white people sometimes. Just shut the fuck up. Sit your ass down and listen.
I'm saying though, like I do.
And also, you're only defending them because what's the opposite of that is porn is a sex worker. So it sounds like you have more issue with a sex worker than a cop.
No, I don't have any issues with sex workers. I have plenty of issue with cops. But
would you date a sex worker then?
No.
Why not?
It would make me uncomfortable. I wouldn't date a comic.
Why does it make you uncomfortable? See, you want to be in this polyamorous relationship and you're uncomfortable with sex work? That's crazy.
Why is that crazy?
Because look, all right, we want to work on this route.
All right, let's do it.
This polyamorous relationship, which is nothing wrong with that, but yours is like a tribe person with like 2 women and just 1 man.
Sure.
So they all dating. So you don't think that's weird? Like these women have to kind of fit your mold of this love.
This is the problem with when I tell people about the triad, they're.
And also, I could be wrong. Like I said, this also might be feigning ignorance, so I also could be wrong.
The people's image of that is like me. I'm trying to be king of the castle.
Same thing with open relationships. People are like, "Oh, you just want to fuck and fuck whoever you want." It's like, no, yes, but no. That's not the whole thing.
Right. It's I when I say I'm going to try it, I would like people to hear that in good faith, to know that I'm
100%. Same way open relationships. Yes.
Right. And so for me, it's community. And if I was attracted to men, I'd be like, yeah, all right, let's.
Yeah, but why can't? But that's what I'm saying. Like, but why can't it be? That's because you don't have to fuck the other man. You guys could have this one woman that you are both in love with.
I wouldn't feel comfortable.
See, there's something to unpack there.
Why?
It's over my pay grade. To be fair,
I just wouldn't feel comfortable.
I also don't have the tools to unpack it, but I think there is something there.
I think that I deserve to say what my boundaries are, what I feel comfortable with in
and
a
that is
relationship.
fair. To be fair, yes. And also, let me be fair. It is also fine to not want to date a sex worker if you're not comfortable. But I think you have to look. But you have to look at why. But it's also why.
Sure.
I think if you have a good reason why, because I think some people are just like, oh, because they're selling their body, blah, 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 and it's like, okay, well, that's not a good boundary as much as like this.
It's not a good boundary for you.
No, come on, bro.
It could be a good boundary for somebody else. They say I don't want to do that.
There's literally somebody. There's this older guy that we were talking. He's a comic, so I'm not gonna say their name.
Okay.
But they're like, yeah, man, I kind of just don't like. He's like, it's kind of a turnoff when women want to fuck on a first date, and I was like, why? Yeah. And then he was like, and then he was like, oh, cause I want to take things slow, blah blah blah. But then he was like. But then also it's like, well, if you fuck me on the first date, then how many bodies do you have, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, so you're slut shaming. You kind of don't want this person because you think this imaginary thing of like, because that's the thing. If he genuinely was just like, I just want to take things slow, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I also just don't want to rush it. That's fine.
Okay.
That is fine. Completely fine. Anyone trying to make them, but it's also the part like, oh, so they're just this person that just want to fuck around. That doesn't make them less of a person. Just because they're fucking other people on a first date. That's just an insecurity and misogynist and patriarch thing.
Did he say it makes them less of a person?
A little bit.
So he literally said like...
Not less of a person, but like, you know what I'm saying? They kind of were, but they were slut shaming.
Okay.
They're like, damn, if you fucking me, who else are you fucking, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Which comes from, again, being like a woman can't fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A woman don't have a choice, all that stuff.
I guess to me, it sounds like you're describing what you're comfortable with, and
no, it's not comfortable.
What do you mean? Wait, what's happening?
No, go ahead, finish.
It sounds like you're saying like, no, I'm comfortable with this. This person's expressing that they're not comfortable with it. Why are they wrong?
No, they're wrong because again.
Another right? It's all day, man. All day.
No, sorry. That's fine. Which is right next to a school, too, which is, like, the crazier part. I guess I should talk to this mic. That is the crazier part. No, because, again, like I said, they're right in being like, hey, I want to take things slow.
Okay. That's the correct way.
No, that is right and valid.
Okay.
But being like, but then I see them less of a person because they're a whore.
Did he say this?
Yes.
He said, I see them less of a person because they're a whore.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll just take you at your word.
Well, like they said other words, but then when it came down to it, they're like, okay, yes, it is this.
Then
because it's like kind of when people are like, oh no, black people aren't less of a human. It's just the culture, right? Saying it's like saying like, oh no, it's not that black people are dumb. It's just like the rap music or this or that. It's like no, you're basically like trying to blame the culture when you're like no, you're just saying black people are stupid or like they're subhuman or all that other stuff. But instead of saying the racist thing, they're trying to use like a dog whistle.
Okay, so you feel like saying
it's kind of like a dog whistle.
Okay, so someone saying I just want to take it slow is potentially a dog whistle.
No. Those are two different points.
Okay, those are two different points. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
If someone's like, hey, I don't like want to fuck in the first day, blah blah blah, because now they're rushing things and all that, and I want to take things slow because I'm more comfortable in that pace. That is fine.
Okay.
Because you're also not, like I said, you're not devaluing this other person. Because the part where he's wrong, he's devaluing them because this is a person that's like, okay, I want to fuck. Mm-hmm. And I know I want to fuck you. Mm-hmm. So he's like, okay, so you're doing this with other people. So it's like, okay, you have bodies. You're just around you're just going around fucking people. Mm-hmm. That's wrong because now you're like, because what's wrong with someone going around and fucking people? As long as they do it safely, obviously.
Sure.
I'm not saying like, oh, they're getting STDs and then they gave you STDs.
Yeah, that's not, yeah. But when you say wrong, I think that's the part. I think so. Like when you say being a cop is wrong, I understand where your head is at because guns and killing and the stuff, the whole system. When you say that this is wrong, what do you mean exactly?
Because again, because it's
meaning they should stop doing this. Like that's what you mean by wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's basically like oh, basically like I don't trust you because you're going around fucking people. Mm-hmm.
And you feel like that's hypocritical because he also has these same.
No, it's not hypocritical. No, it's not hypocritical because even he doesn't go around fucking people. Listen, even if you're not going around fucking people, it doesn't give you a right to look down at people who are fucking.
This is true. I agree. But then to go back to me and the triad stuff, yeah, I that's not what I want. That's not what I'm attracted to. Like,
and I guess this was also like a bad take to go from the sex work. I guess the sex work is also you're kind of yeah. There might be, but I think it's also like a sex work. You're like, this person is fucking on camera.
Sure, I think it's
so that is
fair.
But also, I guess it is okay. But I guess it's alright as long as you don't have that person make them feel bad or like, oh, they're less of a person just because they fuck on camera.
Yeah.
But if you're, as long as you admit like, okay, it's an insecurity and part of me that I want to date this other person who is selling their body.
So you think that someone who says I don't want to date a sex worker should morally also express that they have insecurities because of that?
Yeah, somewhat, because it kind of is to a degree, don't you think?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
In that, yes, there are inherently insecurities that come with. That's why that feeling that I would feel insecure with my girlfriend, wife, whoever, on camera having sex with another person.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way you're describing insecurities almost comes off as judgmental of the insecurities themselves.
No.
Okay.
Because if we all have insecurities, then that's fine. But sure. I think, and I did fuck up. Maybe I didn't express myself clearly.
Yeah.
I guess where the wrong comes in is when you try to not dehumanize, but like I guess you do kind of dehumanize or make that person feel less than just for the certain thing. Going back to that person.
Yeah.
It's alright if he wants to take things slow. But he also didn't like them because like, oh, you're fucking around. So how many? So
did he? I mean, okay. So if he's keeping that to himself and he's not directly saying that to that person, then he's good.
Because because he still feels that way.
Right. But he's not putting them down or saying anything to saying like.
Yeah, no.
Right. He's just internally. He's like, I don't feel comfortable.
Well, it's something you should still work on as a person.
Sure.
And that's the thing we kind of like both agreed. It's like, yeah, you're right. I am looking down on this person just because they're fucking around, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's just something I have to work on. But like I said, the part of it's like, I just don't want to fuck on a first date because I want to take the bus. That is fine. Obviously, whatever you're more comfortable with. But it was the second part. It was like, and also it's like, if you fuck me, who else did you fuck?
Yeah, that's where insecurities come from.
Yeah, and it's like so now you're saying this person isn't worth of a relationship because they were a quote unquote whore.
Yeah, that's
not right.
Well,
because a person fucking doesn't mean they're not a
person.
Yeah, it also doesn't mean they're not a good partner.
Yeah,
I think some of the best girlfriends are whores. I'll be honest with that. My first ex, she was like a so many whores. One of which was great. But not because of who she was. Just because it didn't work out. But that's just because it didn't work out.
I get you.
There's people who aren't whores and the relationship doesn't work out, and you're not gonna be like, oh my god, well they're an ex. It's like, yeah, just because certain things didn't work out, but that doesn't mean that the person or the relationship was less than. It just didn't work out because I just was not a. You know what I'm saying?
The triad thing. I
Here, you give it the trial, but I think the trial wasn't the best way to defend the sex workers. But go ahead and finish. Because I also hate when people do that when I say that I'm in an open relationship. Like, oh, so you just want to fuck with blah, blah, blah. Or all this other stuff. And it's like, that's not.
It's when I say a triad, I mean, people think of it like, oh, you want two girlfriends. It's like, no. I want.
And I didn't see that either.
Yeah, like a community. I want, and part of that is all parties are attracted to each other. Everyone's working together. And it's I think what's difficult or frustrating for me is that people, not you, but people in general will interpret that as the darkest, most misogynistic version of it. And it's like, no, I don't want
to control them or anything. I just want us all to be cool.
Yeah, it's just like being in a monogamous relationship, but 3 people. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and also you're not saying like, oh. And also, I'm guessing you're like, they're not going to take care of me. Like, you'll be cool with that even if you get to cook and clean.
Yeah, it's a community.
Exactly.
It's community.
Yeah.
And financially, 3 incomes, nigga. 3 incomes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You can move out of this place.
I know. I can get a whole goddamn house. 3 incomes. Everyone gets their own.
Actually,
bedroom.
to be fair, the way the economy is, even then.
Yeah. So.
No, but yeah, I guess that wasn't the. So that's on me. But no, I guess it's. But like I said, it's okay because also like you said, there's insecurity of like, well, I don't want my partner to be fucking or showing off their body. There is an insecurity. But I guess as long as you're like, but as long as you don't devalue that person for their occupation, unless you're a cop, because then you're a shitty human being. Yeah.
You're wild, bro. All right, I'm gonna ask you this last question. You ready?
Because a cop. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah.
All right, so we're gonna pretend the camera is you 5 years from now.
Okay. This like hello, you old me.
Yeah. You get to talk to yourself in the future. You can say anything you want to yourself. The 5 year from now version of you.
To quote battle rapper, fuck 5 years. I don't even know where I'm gonna be a year from now, but I guess I'll try it just because I guess I agreed to be on this podcast. What's up, bro? It's your boy from the past. I don't know, man. I'll be honest. I really have nothing to say to you. Just hopefully, I don't know, man. Hopefully you're good. I guess. There's nothing. What the fuck am I gonna say to you? You're me. Yeah. What else am I gonna say to you, bro? Is hopefully everything's good. Fuck you. Actually, fuck you, bro. Why haven't you killed yourself yet? Why are you still alive? why are we still doing this?
This is alright.
Why did you do this to me, bro?